In an era of fleeting fame and fast-moving trends, one woman has defied the odds, transcending generations, genres, and global borders to stand alone at the top of pop's royal hierarchy, Taylor Swift. With her record-breaking stadium tours, lyrical mastery, and ability to reinvent her sound while staying authentically herself, Swift has become more than just a pop star. She is a cultural movement. But as her empire solidifies, an inevitable question arises from fans, critics, and music industry insiders alike. Who will take up the mantle once Taylor Swift moves into a new phase of her life or artistry? Who is destined to be the next queen of pop? This question isn't merely about record sales or social media numbers. It's about impact. It's about an artist's ability to command attention, reshape the soundscape, and speak directly to the core of a generation's identity. The next queen of pop won't just be a chart topper. She will be a voice that defines an era. To answer this, we need to look beyond viral hits and towards something more enduring: vision, resilience, authenticity, and the rare ability to make the personal universal. Pop royalty is not just about talent. It's about timing, relevance, and the emotional tether an artist builds with her audience. Historically, we've seen the baton passed from Madonna to Britney Spears, and from Beyoncé to Lady Gaga to Taylor Swift. Each queen brought something unique. Madonna with rebellion and reinvention, Britney with infectious charisma, Beyoncé with power and polish, Gaga with art and audacity, and Taylor with storytelling and evolution. Each era demands a different kind of leader, and the 2020s, shaped by digital culture, emotional transparency, and gender-fluid music, are creating the perfect conditions for a new pop monarch to rise. Among the frontrunners, Olivia Rodrigo emerges as a generational voice with immense potential. With her debut album Sour, she became the emotional barometer for Gen Z. Her music, filled with heartbreak, angst, and vulnerability, struck a chord with millions. Songs like Driver's License and Good For You didn't just go viral, they became cultural moments. Rodrigo's rise felt organic, like a teenager writing in her bedroom who suddenly found a megaphone. That authenticity, coupled with her acting background, composure in the spotlight, and growing artistic ambition seen in her second album Get Sus, marks her as a serious contender. However, youth and popularity alone don't guarantee the crown. Sustaining that magic, evolving without losing herself, will be her ultimate test. Then there's Sabrina Carpenter, the once Disney star turned Renaissance pop princess. For years, Carpenter toiled in the shadows, carving a sound that was confident, flirty, and refreshingly unbothered. With her 2024 smash hit Espresso and the viral success of Feather, she showed that she could deliver both radio-ready anthems and visual storytelling with wit and flair. What sets Sabrina apart is her savvy understanding of the modern pop machine. She embraces the spectacle, doesn't shy from controversy, and crafts music that's both commercial and clever. Her ability to blend sass with sincerity, to pull off a cheeky verse followed by a soul-bearing bridge, has allowed her to connect with fans who see in her a mix of the playful and profound. Sabrina's ascent feels less like a fluke and more like a plan finally coming to fruition. Chappell Roan, meanwhile, offers something bolder, queerer, and unapologetically theatrical. Her debut album, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess, delivered glamour, vulnerability, and an aesthetic world all her own. Roan represents a growing shift in pop, one that prizes originality, LGBT+ identity, and performance art. She isn't chasing mainstream approval. Instead, she's building a community, a cult-like following that's increasingly pushing her into the spotlight. Her live shows, drenched in glitter and emotion, offer catharsis rather than just choreography. If the next queen of pop is to reflect the rich tapestry of identity politics and queer empowerment, Chappell Roan is already writing her manifesto. Another powerful voice in the conversation is Gracie Abrams. With a lineage tied to Hollywood, her father is director J.J. Abrams, and a sound rooted in emotional indie pop, Abrams has become a quiet force in music. She doesn't dominate headlines the way others do, but she sneaks into your playlist and stays there. Her lyrics read like diary entries, intimate, wistful, often aching. What makes Abrams special is her stillness. In a world of noise, she whispers, and people listen. Touring with Taylor Swift on the Eras Tour has only boosted her credibility. Abrams doesn't just write about heartbreak, she writes about the fractures within the self, the spaces between identity and intimacy. As fans mature alongside her, her resonance may deepen, giving her staying power that's more subtle but just as potent. Of course, it would be foolish to count out the veterans. Miley Cyrus, a household name for over a decade, has staged one of pop's most compelling reinventions. With Flowers, she earned her biggest solo hit and won over critics who once dismissed her for tabloid drama. Miley's strength lies in her refusal to conform, shifting from country pop to hip-hop to glam rock to introspective ballads. She's provocative, but also increasingly wise. Her recent interviews and musical choices suggest a woman coming into her own, less interested in fame and more invested in artistry. While Miley may be too seasoned to be labeled the next queen, she remains a sovereign in her own right, and a major influence on those rising in her wake. Dua Lipa also deserves mention. With a commanding stage presence, disco revival sound, and global appeal, she's proven she can anchor an era. Future nostalgia brought cohesion and danceability at a time when the world needed escape. Her carefully curated brand, elite fashion sense, and multilingual reach make her a true international icon. What Dua sometimes lacks in raw emotional connection, she makes up for in style and sonic direction. She may not be the heart on her sleeve kind of pop star, but she offers something equally important: escapism, confidence, and control. Billie Eilish, once considered the anti-pop star, continues to defy labels. Her moody aesthetics and hushed vocals launched a movement that gave introverts their pop moment. With each release, Billie deepens her narrative, moving from dark experimental sounds to more open emotional territory. Her honesty about mental health, fame, and femininity sets her apart. She isn't trying to be queen, she's trying to survive the kingdom. And in that refusal, she becomes even more essential. The question is whether Billie wants the crown or prefers to orbit outside the palace walls. As we survey these artists, it becomes clear that the next queen of pop may not be a single figure. In this fragmented, niche-driven digital world, monarchy might no longer look like it once did. Instead of one unifying icon, we may be moving toward an era of multiple queens, each ruling her own domain. One queen for heartbreak, one for fashion, one for rage, one for introspection. And maybe that's okay. Maybe pop's future is a sisterhood rather than a singular reign. Still, the world loves a figurehead, a voice to rally behind. And if the crown were to fall tomorrow, Olivia Rodrigo feels most poised to catch it. Her youth, talent, and trajectory mirror the early stages of Taylor Swift's arc. She writes her own music, draws from personal experience, and has the capacity to evolve. But she, like all the others, must prove she can weather the backlash, endure the expectations, and continue to grow as the cultural tide shifts. The road to pop royalty is littered with could-have-beens and might-still-be's. Fame can be fleeting, but resonance is eternal. Whoever rises to claim Taylor Swift's crown will need more than just viral moments. She'll need a vision that cuts through the noise, a story that people want to follow for years, and a voice, both literal and metaphorical, that captures the ache and thrill of being alive right now. In the end, perhaps the next queen of pop isn't trying to be Taylor Swift. Perhaps she's just trying to be herself, loudly, clearly, and unapologetically. And maybe, just maybe, that's the most royal thing of all.